Oh man, this flashback keeps getting better with Xebec making quick work of the world government's strongest fighters. I think most people will be shocked by how strong he actually is. This chapter has got Garp having to face and respond to the true terrors of the world government, which he doesn't want to believe. He keeps thinking he's dreaming, as we'll get to. With Emu showing up on the battlefield because no one else can clearly take on rocks. To the ultimate team up and so much more, so make sure to stay tuned for this one. That has the hype title of God Valley Battle Royale, so you know it's gonna be insanely hype. Now chill the parking within and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing One Piece reviews like this one on the channel and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Nakama if you haven't already by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss future One Piece reviews and updates.
Quick thank you to Blue Protocol Star Resonance for sponsoring this video. Create your own epic hero, team up for strategic raids, and win massive rewards, or just chill out and have some cozy fun with friends by fishing, crafting, and exploring a beautiful magical world. Immerse yourself in a fantasy realm that makes you feel like you're in a real anime, and enjoy the heartfelt multiplayer social interaction and a rich variety of gameplay experiences. Star Resonance combines immersive PvE combat with engaging casual gameplay, creating a dynamic and accessible adventure for players of all types. Be the first to experience it for yourself. Just click the link in the description to download right now. Explore the amazing open world, be whoever you want to be, take on diverse dungeon challenges, and rally, raid, and reap your rewards. Or just take it easy and fish by the river, dance at the town's fair, set off fireworks at night, or even meme in guild chat. Click the link in the description to download right now. For more launch rewards, check out the pinned comment. Limited time redemption codes are available, but quantities are limited, so download the game right now and claim yours before they're gone.
And now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So the chapter starts with St. Garling, who has been hyped up in terms of strength a lot as of late, right? I think everyone can agree to that in the past and in the present. But we hear that he started to fight with rocks, and it's described as a brutal fight. People scream out, "Send reinforcements." Meanwhile, Roger and the Marines and the rest of the Rock's pirates are elsewhere, as we see on the map, but all heading for the same location where you can bet we'll see some legendary clashes. Roger says to Rayleigh, who, remember, managed to save his love Shaki in epic fashion last chapter, that Rocks is on their tail and that the Navy is right in front of them. He says, "Go ahead, Rayleigh. I'll handle things here," while Rayleigh can only acknowledge this nice gesture by saying, "Sorry, Roger." Obviously, he'd love to fight by his side, but after everything, his top priority is making sure Shaki gets home okay after everything she's been through. We then hear it being said among the crew that Rayleigh managed to get Shaki back. Someone complains, "What? I wanted to carry her." Another says, "Darn it, you bastard." Obviously, a lot of people are wishing that they were in Rayleigh's shoes right now, as we see his determined face as he holds the love of his life in his arms in the middle of the most legendary of battlefields. This one made me laugh here. One says, "Take down Rayleigh and grab Shaki." Man, people go so crazy when it comes to Shaki, and it's crazy to think that the present day Shaki and Rayleigh actually went through this legendary and crazy love story in their youth. Never would have thought it, meeting them in the present of the story. Oda definitely over-delivered with this flashback, and I love it. Anyways, Shiki gets pissed at the guy who wanted to hurt Rayleigh, saying, "Don't do that, you idiot. If you do that, you'll end up hurting Shaki." The Rock's pirates that are present, although probably not happy about it, are good enough to accept the fact that Shaki is being saved by Rayleigh, and they change their plans to grabbing more treasure. Pretty cool. The pirates cheer the prospect of stealing all the treasure. Now this is pirates being pirates right here, and you love to see it. Amidst all this fighting, Rayleigh tries to tell Shaki something, but she's smiling, completely content and calm in the arms of Rayleigh after everything she's been through, and she just says, "No need, I already know what you're going to say." I'd assume it's clarifying his feelings, but I think Shaki can understand them pretty well at this point without words. But remember this because there will also be another pirate trying to save his love in this chapter too, but it doesn't go quite as smoothly as this appears to be going. The flashback isn't over though yet, so we will see if they have complications as well. I have some ideas about that actually, but we'll get to that later. We then catch up with Kuma and Ivankov, and you might think this would be a less interesting part of the chapter just because everything else is so interesting, but even this is fascinating. They just found the most sought after devil fruits that the best of the best could potentially win in this tournament. Ivankov says, I don't know which is which, but I'm gonna have one anyway. Big Mom suddenly breaks in and stops Ivankov from eating the Azure Dragon, aka Kaido's eventual devil fruit, while she's too late to stop Kuma, who eats his fruit in a hurry upon seeing what happened to Ivankov. Big Mom is clearly upset with this, as we see her teeth clenched and sweat pouring down her face, but at least she has one left, for now at least. Ivankov, on the other hand, is overjoyed at seeing Kuma having eaten the fruit, and I love what Ivankov says here. Ivankov says, you'll be able to save someone, and even if it's just one person, it'll be our victory. I really appreciate that sentiment, and even if you can't save everyone, saving even one person should be celebrated as a victory. The Marines are panicking, saying the island's pure chaos. The pirates have taken the battlefield. Should we fall back or capture them? They beg for orders as they are being demolished. We now catch up to the legendary Garp, who says, hey Sengoku, did you know about all this? Sengoku replies, if I recall, there was a man who asked the same thing and then he disappeared from the Navy. Garp, clearly unhappy, as he should be, with what's taken place on the island, says, so this means what I'm seeing isn't a dream but reality. And oh my god, the suspense is real for how Roger and Garp go from this to fighting Rocks, the family man. As of now, it's definitely hard to picture how they get to the point when clearly Roger has been focused on helping Rayleigh save Shocky and Garp is now sickened by what the Celestial Dragons have been up to. Why, we must wonder, will they choose to fight Rocks in this context, who is just trying to save his family? Or maybe that doesn't happen, but that's the main narrative of what happened. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm very curious about that. We then catch up with my favorite character, Rocks D. Xebec himself. Xebec says these people just won't die, as we see him running and sometimes fighting while holding his wife and child, aka future Blackbeard, on his back. Does it get any more legendary and awesome than that? His wife is cool herself and says, Xebec, let me down. All we can do is run. Wait, Xebec. Those people who were captured turned into that, meaning into the vampire-like demonic things that Imu's powers seem to be able to create. Could it be someone's power that changed them? And of course, the answer to that is yes, Imu's for sure, but for us, this isn't the first time we saw this ability. They comment as it seems even Davy family members have been turned, as they say, old man and grandma, what happened to you? Upon seeing some of the demonic figures. Figureland, even though he's got backup and is fighting a guy that is carrying two people while running, is losing very clearly. He's shown with a severely damaged head. Now these guys can usually regenerate, as we know, so it's not as bad as it may look for him, but interestingly enough, he's the one that says about Xebec, he's really strong. The wound he gave me will take a while to heal. While another Celestial Dragon adds, but now we know he's a Davy. If we finish him off, I'm sure the Great One will be pleased, presumably meaning Imu. One adds, shame the game's over, but we got lucky. Xebec's wife continues to argue with him, saying, Xebec, let me down. And he answers, listen, Eris. If a Davy gets caught, even by accident, they'll feel a pain so awful the very gates of hell will seem like child's play. And his wife replies, I know that. But again, what crosses my mind is how can Roger and Garp presumably side with such people against Xebec? Such people that would do such horrible things. Give me your ideas that actually make sense to you in the comments. Will Xebec go berserk and they'll have no choice or something? Will he be turned into one of those demonic-like creatures by Imu? Right now, I can't see myself not being on the side of Xebec, but who knows? Oda has impressed me and surprised me before, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, Eris responds, because I'm already a Davy, everyone was kind to me, even knowing I was a pirate. I know well the fate that awaits us, so let me down. Then finally she spins out of his grasp, not leaving him a choice or forcing his hand, if you will. She says, if I were a woman who can't even protect her own child and kept relying only on you, you'd never fall in love with me, would ya? And honestly, I must give credit to Oda. He drew a great smile on her face here that really sells the line and makes you like her right off the bat. She is a fitting wife for such a legend as Xebec. Xebec, because he is worried about her, calls her an idiot. She adds, if I realize we're about to be captured, I'll kill Teach and them myself. We'll find a way to survive and meet again in Lulusia, Xebec. And gotta love that reference to Leloucia, but man, you can see the parallel between Rayleigh and Shockey and Xebec and Eris here, but unfortunately these guys won't get the same happy ending as we know. Eris runs with Teach as Xebec turns around and prepares to fight the chasers unencumbered. Garling is there and Xebec's first sword slash cuts the island in two pretty much. He says, "Ye ain't getting past here, bring it on ye bloody beasts." We see Kid Blackbeard shedding tears as he looks back at his brave father ready to sacrifice his life for him and his mother. We then jump to Big Mom, who plans to give the Azure Dragon Fruit to her son Karakuri, knowing that will add tremendous strength to her future crew. And I personally thought maybe at some point she just decided to have food-related powers for her children, or that she'd be mother-like enough towards Kaido that she'd actually willingly give the fruit to him. That's how she made it sound when she was talking about this moment in the future. However, Kaido took it fair and square, so to speak. He knocks her out with his spike club and eats it. Now, perhaps the reason Linlin is especially upset and feels like he owes her is because they were on the same crew, so maybe there should be some respect for the first come first serve rule, but we all know now how most people on the crew felt about each other, so I can't say I blame Kaido for this, and it's kind of hilarious how he just attacked Big Mom mercilessly here with no warning. Plus, after what he does later with the power, as we'll see in this chapter, I like him all the more for it. Obviously, Big Mom is upset though and says to Kaido, "You bastard." So yes, she wasn't actually knocked out, but I just thought that would sound funnier that way. But we just gotta be clear for the power scalers out there that she was not actually knocked out. We then get another parallel where we see Dragon running with Shanks and Eris running with Teach, both saying, "I won't let you die," to the children they are protecting. Crazy that these two will become the legendary Yonko rivals Blackbeard and Shanks one day. We hear the Roger pirates scream out they found a treasure. So they got Shockey and now the treasure? These guys seem to be killing it at the moment. We see Marines saying, "Don't let the pirates leave the island." We see Garp seemingly watching what is unfolding with disgust. It's said that on the island where madness rules reason, justice belongs to the world government navy. People are begging to be freed but are shot at instead, as they're told that God Valley is a non-affiliated country, surrender now. While Kuma says, "Even on my own, I still want to save these people." And we'll get him actually saving people and being a boss later on, despite his young age at this point. Then it seems someone, presumably Emu, asks Saturn, "Hath Rocks perished?" He says, "Well, everything's under control. However, I have this strange feeling that amid this destruction, something new is about to be born." We see a dragon in the sky, which now we know is Kaido. Emu seems to respond saying, "I shall not permit such a... ... We will come back to Emu. But for now, we jump to Kuma, who is actually using his new powers as stated, all ready to send people to a safer place. We see as people thank him profusely, and a lot of people are thanking him. He really is the hero of the day. But he's humble as usual and being a great guy as usual and says, "No need to thank me." Other people welcome being sent anywhere else because anywhere is better than this hell, as they say. Another says, "We had already given up on living. Thank you, Kuma." So many thank him as Kuma lights up, so glad to be able to be of service to these guys. We then see the three big names aside from Emu, meaning Roger, Garp, and Rocks, who seem to sense that Emu has appeared on the island. There's a disturbance in the force, if you will. Rocks is shown looking absolutely amazing in silhouette form, like an absolute beast. We see everyone before him lying defeated, including Garling. Take that, bro! Which I absolutely love to see. I hate Garling so much, and I love Rocks, so it's perfect. Oda repping my favorite character very well here. Rocks says, "Ye crossed me blood. Now it's kill or die, ye dogs." We'll see how the official translation goes, but this one definitely makes him sound like an old school pirate, which I guess he is. And then we get one of my absolute favorite moments. I was going to say of the chapter, but it might be one of my favorite moments, like, ever. We heard so much about Rock's pirates being out for themselves, right? Everybody watching their own backs, not there for each other, and ready to split when it's convenient for them. And yet here, Rocks actually gets backup from Whitebeard and Kaido. He even says, "You know there's no gain in this, yet ye come to lend a hand?" Whitebeard, being the stand-up guy he is, smiles and says, "Don't sweat it, you always end up picking up the tab anyway." A goated line right there, and Kaido in dragon form joins these two legends, saying, "I finally got a power, now I want to test it." Rock says, "Look at ye. Ain't never seen ye this fired up, Kaido. And he laughs. It's a goosebump-inducing moment of greatness as these three, each a legend in their own right, stand together against insane powers and odds. Whitebeard says, alright, but let me ask you something. What is that? Garp says, am I dreaming? What's happening on this island? So this chapter for him is pretty much wondering if he's dreaming over and over again. Not his best chapter for sure. Roger says, now this is an adventure, while giving a big smile. He adds, and there's still so much I don't understand. Rock says, what be that? If I were to name it, the world itself. And we see Imu present, having taken over Saint Saturn's body. We are told by the narrator that this is the showdown we've been waiting for. So let me know how you interpret Rock's calling Imu the world itself. Is it because this is the king of the current world order, whether people know it or not? Or is it tied to the specific power Imu has? Let me know your theories in the comments. But wow, all I can add at this point is that this is definitely a contender for one of the best chapters of One Piece ever. And it seems like next chapter is poised to be at least as good, if not better. Thanks again to Blue Protocol Star Resonance for sponsoring this video. Download the game right now, link in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, you won't want to miss this one on screen right now, which YouTube says you'll like as well. Like and subscribe for more One Piece reviews and updates, and I'll see you in the next one.